Humans have spent thousands of years perfecting shelter to keep us safe from the elements. We are hardwired to look for homes that sit flat on the ground, with solid foundations and predictable, sturdy walls. But then you see a structure that ignores those rules entirely, a building that appears to float above the landscape, leans over a sheer drop, or twists upwards into a concrete spiral. When you look at this diagram, your brain naturally prefers the grounded box on the left. When it processes the top-heavy, leaning structure on the right, it hesitates. It registers an error, creating a distinct feeling of physical discomfort because the building doesn't look like a safe shelter. That hesitation isn't a mistake. Modern architects actually engineer that discomfort. It's a highly intentional feature built into the design, which brings up a strange question. Why would a creator spend millions of dollars and risk absolute structural failure to construct a home that actively fights the physical reality around it? To find out what exists past the boundaries of traditional construction, architects have to cross a line. They have to intentionally break the three core laws of architecture. The first law they break is gravity. This wooden structure is suspended directly over a sheer cliff, hovering above a 1,000-foot drop. This cross-section shows the hidden engineering required to keep that house from falling. Deep steel beams drill straight into bedrock, using massive weight pulling back to counterbalance the rooms hanging over the ocean. Every angle calculated flawlessly. If the distribution is off by a fraction of an inch, the home collapses. So why would anyone willingly choose to wake up in a state of suspended mortal danger? When you remove the land beneath a home, the environment becomes a constant sensory presence. The sound of the wind and the sight of the abyss heighten the occupant's awareness, making the interior feel like a sanctuary. It turns the house into a psychological shield that feels more protective than any standard home. The second law architects break is presence. Historically, humans have built massive, towering structures to dominate their environment and prove they conquered the land. Now, a growing movement is doing the exact opposite, building homes designed to completely disappear. Look at this invisible house. By wrapping the exterior in continuous reflective glass, the structure seamlessly mirrors the harsh desert rocks and the sky above it. The building perfectly camouflages itself into an illusion of absence. Some structures take this even further by returning to ancient methods. These ancient stone dwellings are swallowed completely by a massive geological overhang carved directly into the rock face. These disappearing homes operate in quiet isolation, directly solving overwhelming problems found in modern cities. They offer insulation from violent storms, absolute privacy from the outside, and total silence. The ultimate luxury in modern design is no longer about standing out. By surrendering to the environment rather than fighting it, these structures achieve the impossible dream of absolute stillness. The final law they break is geometry. We expect our buildings to rely on rigid right angles and straight, predictable lines. But these abstract, pipe-like metallic panels refuse to conform to any standard grid. This forces thousands of tons of steel and concrete to create a massive physical illusion. It makes these rigid industrial materials appear to melt, twist, and behave like fabric bending in the wind. This new rule-breaking approach is highly polarizing. Some look at these structures and see undeniable genius, while others view them as an ugly visual glitch that ruins the skyline. Both reactions prove the point. The true purpose of this impossible geometry is disruption. It shatters the visual monotony of the city, forcing people to stop, look up, and feel a genuine sense of wonder. These rule-breaking structures serve as laboratories for high-stakes problem-solving. They are physical manifestations of the most vital question humans can ask: what if? Every major leap forward in human history was initially dismissed as physically impossible, until someone built it anyway. The idea of humans living and working in steel cages suspended in the sky once sounded like fiction. The exact same logic applied to define gravity. The concept of mechanical flight was considered an absurd fantasy, right up until the moment it left the ground. That defiance culminated in the ultimate rejection of earthly limitations. leaving the planet to walk on the moon. The engineering used to make these houses possible filters down into how we build everything else. Today's cantilevered cliff house becomes a lesson in extreme structural efficiency. Today's mirrored glass becomes a heat shield for a more sustainable city. When the impossible becomes an address, it provides early evidence that our physical limitations are often just failures of imagination.